Excuse me, this isn't a daycare. Who let you in here? That voice cut through the boardroom like a whip, cold sharp, meant to hurt. Every head at the polished mahogany table turned, and every whisper stopped. 8-year-old Lily froze mid-step, her tiny fingers still holding a bunch of sticky notes she had just rearranged, thinking she was helping. The woman who barked at her stood tall at the head of the table, all power suit and sculpted cheekbones. Charlotte Hale, CEO of Westmont Global, the youngest executive to ever run the company. From the hallway, Daniel Price saw it all. He was a janitor, still in his faded uniform shirt, keys jingling at his hip. His heart dropped the second he spotted his daughter through that glass wall, looking so small under the fluorescent lights. Charlotte's voice softened, but only in tone, her words still sliced. I asked you a question, young lady. Who are you and why are you touching the roadmap of a billion-dollar company? I was just helping, Lily whispered. The colors were out of order. Someone chuckled, but Charlotte didn't. She turned to the board. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why security matters. One slip and your billion-dollar future is rearranged by a child with crayons. Daniel walked in steady as always. I'm sorry. This was my fault. She got curious. I turned my back while fixing a vent. It won't happen again. Charlotte looked him over like he was a smudge on glass. He didn't flinch. He just reached for Lily's hand. Let's go, sweetheart. But just before they stepped out, Lily turned back. Her voice was small but steady. I wasn't trying to be bad. I just thought red should mean urgent. I'm 8, not stupid. The room went quiet. Charlotte blinked. But Daniel squeezed his daughter's hand and led her away, not giving that boardroom another second of his pride. Back in the service elevator, Lily leaned against him. Did I embarrass you? Daniel shook his head. No. You reminded them there are more important things than how smart they look on paper. That was their world, quiet hallways. The smell of lemon cleaner, a beat-up supply closet that doubled as Lily's sketching corner. While her dad worked, she drew floor plans and flowcharts in her notebook. She didn't doodle princesses, she redesigned whole buildings, moving bathrooms closer to conference rooms, because it feels inefficient otherwise. Daniel would chuckle. You'll change the world one blueprint at a time. I don't want to change the world, she'd say softly. I just don't want people like her to make me feel small. He'd crouch down level with her eyes. People get mean when they see someone unexpected in their world. But that doesn't make you less. It just makes them scared of losing control. Then every night he'd pull out the emergency kit. Inside bandages, disinfectants, and one sealed EpiPen. He drilled her like a soldier, symptoms of anaphylaxis, injection steps, calling 911. She never rolled her eyes. She understood. Why do we practice so much, she once asked. Because the world doesn't always wait for help, but we can always be ready to help someone else. She smiled. Even if they wear really fancy shoes, he laughed. Especially those. Weeks later, that preparation mattered. It was just an ordinary school lunch when a boy at Lily's table bit into a peanut cookie. Within minutes, his face swelled. His breaths turned shallow and his lips went blue. The cafeteria froze in panic. Lily didn't. She reached into her backpack, pulled out the black case, and remembered her father's words. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Safety cap, outer thigh, 5 seconds. Click. The boy gasped like he'd surfaced from drowning. The cafeteria erupted, teachers rushing, kids crying, but Lily just steadied her shaking hands. You owe me a dragon, fact, she told him. By the time Daniel arrived, she was calm, but the nurse told him, teary-eyed, she saved his life. For the first time in years, Daniel cried in public, hugging his daughter in front of everyone. The video spread online before he even knew. Headlines called her the janitor's daughter who saved a life. Millions watched that little girl kneeling in courage. And one night in a glass tower office, Charlotte Hale pressed play on that same clip. She froze. The girl was Lily. The father, the janitor she had dismissed. For the first time in a long time, Charlotte didn't feel powerful. She felt small. She went looking for them, finding Daniel in a dim maintenance corridor. "I owe you an apology," she said quietly. "You owe her," Daniel replied. Charlotte knelt eye level with Lily. "What you did wasn't just brave, it was extraordinary." Lily held out a folded paper, a drawing of an owl wearing glasses. "It's you, if you want it to be." Charlotte took it like glass, and for the first time the ice around her cracked. Not long after, smoke filled the 12th floor of Westmont Tower. No alarms, no sprinklers, just haze curling from vents. Daniel smelled it first. His instincts, sharpened in a war zone he never talked about, kicked in. He stormed the boardroom, Charlotte mid-presentation. Everyone out. Now. Some laughed. Then they saw his face. Authority in his tone. Not a janitor's voice, a commander's. Within minutes, he'd cleared the floor, carried an unconscious IT worker through smoke, guided terrified interns to safety. By the time fire crews arrived, Daniel was on a stretcher, soot-covered oxygen mask strapped tight. Charlotte knelt beside him, tears streaking through her perfect makeup. "You saved us," she whispered. He rasped back. "Just did what needed doing." The next morning, the front page read, "Janitor saves CEO and dozens in Midtown fire." Reporters wanted his story. Charlotte wanted his forgiveness. But Daniel didn't want glory. "Doing what's right doesn't need cameras," he said. Charlotte, shaken, started showing up differently. She opened up about her own grief, the child she'd lost years ago, the loneliness she buried under power suits. For the first time, she wasn't a CEO barking orders. She was a woman admitting she was broken. Daniel didn't pity her. He just listened. And Lily, innocent bold, kept bridging the gap with her drawings. An owl, a mosaic, then finally a watercolor of 3 figures under one umbrella. 2 tall, 1 small. Charlotte taped that picture to her office wall, replacing a modern art piece worth thousands. Her assistants thought she had lost it. She thought she'd finally found something real. When the company hosted a press conference, Charlotte stunned everyone. 3 days ago, she told the crowd our building nearly burned. It didn't because of one man, a janitor, a veteran, a father, Daniel Price. The room gasped. Daniel stayed seated, uncomfortable in the spotlight. Charlotte continued. "I once believed leadership meant speaking the loudest, but real leadership is quiet. It's sweeping the floor so no one trips. It's raising a daughter so wise she teaches grown-ups how to be better." Applause rolled, and on the big screen appeared the announcement of the Price Scholarship Fund. Full rides for children of janitors, bus drivers, cafeteria workers. Daniel stood slowly. "I appreciate the honor, but don't turn kindness into a marketing budget." Charlotte nodded, a promise in her eyes. "Deal." From that day, things shifted. Executives held doors for him. Engineers shook his hand. Even the security guards started calling him the backbone of the building. But Daniel didn't change. He still mopped, still fixed pipes, still walked his daughter home with tired boots and steady hands. Months later, at a city ceremony, Lily accepted an award for courage. She stood at the podium, her voice clear. "I didn't save Jeremy because I wanted to be a hero. I did it because my dad taught me to help. This award doesn't belong to me. It belongs to every quiet person who shows up every day to make life better, even when no one notices." She pointed to her dad in the crowd. "Like him." Daniel bowed his head, tears running free. and beside him sat Charlotte, not in a power suit, but in a green dress, her eyes soft, her hands folded like family. Later that night, as Lily drifted off to sleep, Daniel kissed her forehead. "You did perfect, baby girl." In Westmont Tower on the 12th floor wall, a framed copy of Lily's umbrella drawing hung with a plaque. "In honor of those who keep us safe, whether we notice or not." Daniel walked by it with his mop. He didn't stop. He didn't need to. But the broom in his hand felt lighter. And maybe that's what true strength is. Not the loudest voice in the room, but the quiet hands that protect, even when no one's watching. Now I'll leave it to you. What do you think? Was Charlotte's change of heart genuine or just guilt dressed up as redemption? And have you ever seen someone overlooked suddenly become the reason everything worked out? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because these are the conversations that matter. And if this story moved you, hit like, share it with someone who needs a little light, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.